Okay, the value of marketing. Now you've probably heard negative things about marketing. Things like marketers just sell people stuff they don't want, marketers lie, and stuff like that. Well, actually, marketing creates utility for consumers. Utility is the value created by marketers to satisfy consumer needs. Value that would otherwise not be possible. Marketing also helps overcome a lot of discrepancies or gaps in the economic system. So marketing is a very important part of an economic system. Not to persuade people to buy stuff that they don't want. No. But to help overcome gaps and to help offer people value that they would otherwise not be able to get anywhere else. Okay, so let's look at some of the gaps in which marketing functions that marketing helps overcome. The separation in ownership. Most consumers do not own all the products that they need to satisfy all their needs. There's a gap between what they want and what they have. Marketers will try to overcome this gap by selling need-satisfying products to consumers, to give them what they need. Many consumers, for example, need a mobile way to communicate with their friends and relatives. Samsung makes this possible by selling smartphones. By overcoming the ownership gap and giving consumers the opportunity to use or consume products, marketers create possession utility. They give them possession of products that add value to their lives. Next, discrepancy of quantity. Producers produce goods in large quantities, right? Like golf balls. The guys who create golf balls, they make them hundreds of thousands at a time. But consumers cannot buy them all at once. They want to buy them usually one or two at a time, so they can play with them like that. To overcome this, wholesalers and retailers buy in bulk from producers. Then they break down those products into units that the end consumer can then buy. Individual units. Like that. Buy a box with 3 golf balls in at a time. Okay, discrepancy of assortment. Producers usually only produce a narrow assortment of goods, 1 or 2 types of products. For example, a soccer ball manufacturer may only make balls, but a soccer player also needs togs, clothing, and shin pads. Right? They need quite a lot of different products in order to play soccer. So, how are these consumers going to access all these products? Well, a sports shop will buy all the different products and sell them, buy all the products from the different producers and then make them available to the end consumer in a convenient place where they can buy each one just in ones, right? In a limited assortment. They can have everything they need. So it's kind of, let me draw it for you. I'm sure you can understand it, but it's kind of like this. Here's Sportsman's Warehouse, right? Here's the guys who produce the soccer balls. Here's the guys who produce the shin pads. Here's the guys who produce the soccer clothing, and here's the guys who produce everything else. Sportsman's Warehouse will get all the soccer balls from the one shop, and the pads and the clothing and everything else, and then they will sell it to the consumer in one place. Right? So the consumer doesn't have to go there and there and there and there. It's going to cost them a lot of time and money. They just have to go to one place to get what they need. That adds value to the consumer's life. It saves them time and money. Right? And this is part of the marketing channel. Right? The marketing channel is helping the consumer to do this. Okay, then we have spatial separation. Producers produce in one place, but consumers live all over the place. So a farmer produces milk on his farm, but consumers who want to drink that milk do not live on the farm. They live probably in the cities and in the towns. The farmer needs to get the milk into the hands of those who want it. And who helps them? Well, the intermediaries, the wholesalers and the retailers, who are part of the marketing channel, will overcome this spatial separation through the transport function. Right? They will go fetch. Clover, for example, goes to fetch the milk from all the farmers and then purifies the milk and bottles the milk and distributes it to various retailers so that it's accessible to the average consumer. Marketers therefore create place utility for consumers by making products available where they are needed in convenient places. Okay, separation in time. Consumers are not always ready to consume the products when they have been produced. The amount produced may also exceed the demand. It might be more than what's actually needed. So excess surplus of products therefore needs to be stored. And intermediaries also do this for consumers. A farmer produces millies in the summer, but consumers eat millipap all throughout the year. To ensure that they can eat porridge all year round, marketers overcome the separation of time for them by using storage facilities. Like that. They create time utility using the storage function so that consumers can eat millipap all throughout the year. Isn't that cool, huh? Separation in information. Consumers are not often aware of what products exist that may satisfy their needs. They lack the information, and that's known as the information gap. Marketers will overcome this gap by providing consumers with information on need-satisfying products through advertising and so forth. For example, a consumer may need a new car, so a car company will advertise in the local newspaper providing information on the products that can satisfy their needs. For example, there we go, Toyota is advertising on products like Bucky's and so forth, and different cars that can satisfy consumers' needs. They create information utility by using the marketing communication function, like advertising is a good example. Okay, then we have separation in value. The consumer may, for example, say that 20 Rand is too expensive for a 2-litre Coke and therefore will not buy it. So in this case, the seller and the buyer disagree about the value of the product. Marketers then have to convince buyers that their products represent value for money. Otherwise, the buyers will not buy it. And there are examples of Coke and how they are trying to convince people that Coke is a good product. Open Happiness campaign, Share a Coke with a Friend campaign, all ways that they're trying to say Coke gives you more value than just, the nice liquid that you drink. It's also the happiness, it's also the sharing with friends, so you can pay that extra amount. Okay, more separation in value. Using the pricing function, marketers establish a monetary value for their products that will recover the manufacturer's production costs while also representing a realistic price that the target market are willing to pay. In the image you can see there, they're saying the new 1.5 litre is going for 12 Rand 99. It's a perfect example of pricing. Marketers will establish an equilibrium between what the manufacturer wants, and they want the highest price possible obviously, and the buyers who want the lowest price possible. And marketers will try and find a middle way that satisfies both the manufacturer as well as the consumers. So marketers play a very important function between the manufacturers and the consumers. Everything that happens in between the manufacturer of products and consumers is managed and strategized and planned and facilitated by marketers. Okay, form and task utility. Marketers make sure that products and services produced by the firm take the right form in order to satisfy consumer needs. So by understanding consumer needs properly, marketers can create form utility. In other words, they can tell the production company what product they must make, what form it should take, what it should look like, how it should function, what colors it should have, so that it effectively serves consumers' needs. They also develop services that can perform the needed tasks for consumers, like car repair. That's task utility. Okay? They're creating organizations, or they're creating systems which perform specific tasks that serve the needs of consumers. So as you can see, marketing plays a very important part in the economy, in any economy. If it wasn't for marketing, it wouldn't really work. Manufacturers will be in the one area creating all their products, and consumers will be in the cities not able to gain access to any of those products all year round at a price that they're willing to pay, at the time that they need it, in convenient locations. Right? So marketing functions and performs all those functions. And it does this by overcoming several gaps that would be impossible or extremely expensive for consumers to do on their own, and not just that, but very inconvenient. Therefore, marketing creates utility for customers or consumers by performing activities of or functions of value on their behalf. So instead of them having to go to the farm to get the milk themselves, marketing performs that function for them. And all consumers then pays an extra little bit of amount on their milk price to pay for that service. Okay, yes, if they went to the farmer themselves, they would probably charge less, much less for a liter of milk. But because marketers have, Clover has, paid for the transportation and the cleaning of the milk and the packaging of the milk and making it available in convenient locations, you have to pay a bit extra for all those roles that Clover performs for you. And in that way, Clover makes money, the farmer makes money, and the consumer makes money, and everyone's happy. At least the consumer doesn't make money, the consumer gets the product that they need.